Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tier number 2 for Inters Racing League for round 3 at Monza. We had a fantastic round last week at Portugal being the sprint, but we changed directions and a track that probably doesn't need as much wings as Portugal does, and only 11 corners, just under 6 kilometres. It's going to be a quick race, and hopefully we see plenty of action. Scotty here with you once again on your Saturday afternoons, and I've got someone in the comms box with me, thankfully, and this time it is Almighty Gob. Gobby, very happy to have you in the comms box tonight.
Oh shoot, I was already unmuted. Yeah, very happy to be here. I'm looking forward to this race. Haven't watched too much of what Tier 2's had to offer over these first few weeks, so I know there's some speed from the guys on the grid, so looking forward to it.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure we've had 3 different winners from our 2 main races and 1 sprint. Maddie, Kaio and Luke back into race number 1 at Spain, so should definitely be looking forward to it as we flick over to the calendar. And as you can see, we had our round 2, which was our first sprint of the season. This time we're at Monza, which is known as the Temple of Speed. This is going to be very interesting to watch. Pretty much no wings or only 1 or 2 clicks probably, but yeah, it's going to be fantastic as we check out the track details for this 5.793 kilometre circuit. 53 laps in real life. We hit 27 per the 50% standard. Lap record 121.046, which, as we know, in the high-powered engine days, the V10s, so Barrichello 2004 still holds that record. As you can see, we are on the softest range of our tyre compounds, the C3, the C4, the C5, and you can see on your bottom right-hand side of your screen, as I said, downforce is bugger all. A little bit of tyre stress, obviously, around Parabolica turn 11, but braking is going to be your big issue, especially dropping from about 350, 360 kilometres an hour. Potentially also with DRS in the race, you've got to make sure you get your braking point there to be able to send the move done, and that's probably where Gobby will probably see most of maybe any incidents that do happen tonight.
Yeah, no, that's it. Sorry, I'm a little distracted by something else at the moment. Yeah, no, that's it. What was that? Turn 1?
Yeah, possible it's at turn 1, but turn 1 here at Monza, that's you're gonna find a lot of your overtaking done just at how from 360 down to probably what 60 kilometers, 70 kilometers by the time you get to the end of turn 1.
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. It's going from full pace down to that, like, you miss your braking marker by a split second and you're cutting that corner and taking out 3 cars that have hit their braking spot. So it can be carnage. It's, yeah, like I said, it's going to be very interesting to see see how this plays out, to be honest.
Yeah,
it's Turn 1's always carnage, and then what's the chicane after the? I'm blanking on the name. I think is it Parabolica?
No, that Parabolica is turn 11, it possibly could be the Ascari chicane after the second DRS zone between 7 and 8. So 7, 8,
Yeah,
8,
that's
8, 9 and 10 are probably what you're thinking about.
yeah, that's the one. Yeah, no, that's another one where there can be some carnage as well. So yeah, look, Monza always seems to throw out some great racing and some very, very silly racing. So hopefully we're on the right side of this. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Fingers crossed. But one thing we did make note last night in Tier 3 that actually track penalties were a bit of an issue. So drivers obviously going to have to be a little bit careful of that. And obviously if they do get pens that may have been unfairly given by the game, obviously capture your race director. But obviously very interesting to see. Just keep within those track limits. Maybe just trying to cut those chicanes just a little bit. I know the Ascari chicane obviously going to the left-handed. You just want to try and carry your speed through there, which may end up getting you a warning. So definitely one play that the drivers definitely have to watch out for. But Tetris, he managed to keep it penalty-free last night in the Williams and picked up the W in Tier 3. J-Man in P2. Junkyard Dog was your final man on the podium last night. But we'll have a look at who is driving tonight. As we look at our lineup, we have 3 reserves in. Both Williams, Ethimon and Kaya are in for the Williams team. And Maddie AU, our race winner from our feature race in Portugal, unfortunately unable to make it tonight. So obviously Beng is in for that second Red Bull seat. So obviously unlucky, or it's upsetting a little bit that Maddie can't join because he provided plenty of action last week. And current championship leader, he's missing one, so a lot of chances for these guys to make up a bit of ground on the Red Bull driver.
Yeah, that's it. I might be in for a drive here. If we can't find another commentator though, I probably just hang around in comms.
Alright, so we're just in the lobby
I
at the moment.
don't think I'd be able to do a Scotty. I will not be able to do a Scotty and drive. That's too many swear words there.
Yeah, might be a little bit tricky, but we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, just waiting for a couple more drivers to get into the lobby if we are. Obviously, 5:01 at the moment, local time. So we'll have a quick look at our previous stewards penalties, because we had a few. We had 7 incidents from Portugal. Our big noticeable ones were NATO with the 10 and 2 for outbreaking himself and taking Alan out at the hairpin turn 5 at Portugal. So he got penalised. Powers with the 5 and 1 for the incident that we saw with Daniel. So obviously hurt Daniel in the way because Daniel was obviously in the chance for the victory last week, but unfortunately he finds himself with the 5 and 1. Didn't actually lose a position from that Power, so probably got a little bit lucky from how that sort of all ended up, but obviously still with the license point anyway. Wayne with a 5 and 1 for an incident with Granny, and Granny himself picked up a 3 and 1 for an incident with Wayne as well. So both of those drivers having a couple of issues last week. But what all that meant for the results, as I said just prior, Kyo was your sprint race victory winner from Maddie and Daniel Starr, and then Maddie, as you saw, P1 in the feature. Buster, P2, he kept out of trouble, found himself in P2, great job. And Kyo, we saw him with the 6 seconds penalty. He crossed the line first, managed to just hold on from Ego by about half a second. But it was a shout-out drive from Ego, and that was obviously why he was given our driver of the day last week. But yeah, Powers staying in P5. Daniel Starr, obviously, with that incident, dropping to P6. And what that means for our driver standings, as you can see on screen, Matty has a 16-point lead over Buster and Powers. So
alright, Scotty, I've got some sorry mate, I've got some news for you, but you've got Broseph jumping in with you, and I am going to out because your boy is racing.
Oh, so good luck tonight.
Cheers, mates. Hopefully I'll be chatting to you a little bit later.
Yeah, obviously wishing you all the best. Actually, before you go, what team are you jumping into?
Aston Martin.
So you are, as I quickly get up, who are you replacing as we quickly go back to the driver?
I think it was Ploidy.
Alright, yeah, Mitty's in, so you're replacing Ploidy, so you'll be our 4th reserve for tonight. So obviously good luck, and we'll wait to potentially chat to you at the end of the night.
Cheers, mate. Catch you later.
So as he goes to score some points potentially for Aston Martin. We'll switch back to the drivers and we'll wait for Broseph to come into the box and join us. Yeah, fantastic. Good to see Gob on the grid. But as I said before, Matty Powers and Buster, the top three. Powers obviously a reserve driver still at the moment. But as I said, Matty not being here, obviously a big loss for him, especially Buster can find himself on the podium once again. Luke, obviously, with that win in Spain, obviously the DNF in Portugal, unfortunately, drops him down to P4, but as I said, he's got plenty of pace to try and catch back up. Ego as well, standout result in Portugal. Both great drives in the sprint. The feature moves him up into P6 for Red Bull. So obviously the Red Bull team obviously firing both on all cylinders. But as you can see down the bottom, quite a few drivers, full-time drivers, actually haven't been able to score a point. Ploy, the eBay boy, Letter P, Sam, obviously both Williams, and then White Cake in the Haas, just recently joining that team. So we'll see what he can do for his first outing. Looking at the constructors, Red Bull, as you can see, a whopping 48 points at Portugal, moves them to the top of the Tier 2 Constructors leaderboard, ahead of Alpine, who actually had a really solid week as well. Mercedes, probably the biggest loser, obviously dropping from that top spot, and McLaren and Haas in P4, P5. Williams, unfortunately, at the bottom of the table with 8 points. Finally, before we get to the gameplay, as they have just green flagged the session, we'll have a quick look at the overall standings after round 2. Ferrari and Mercedes and Red Bull. There's only 3 points separating our top 3 teams, which is awesome to see. So, obviously, every point will count at the moment. Still a lot of rounds left to go, but if you can get a bit of a lead early, obviously, you want to try and do that. AlphaTauri and Aston Martin, very close by, also with Alpine as well. Haas, Alfa Romeo, McLaren and Williams, unfortunately, at the bottom of the table, but Tetris's win last night will help them, as obviously we have Kaio and Ethimon in Tier 2 tonight for the Williams team, so hopefully they can provide some more points. But as we have loaded into the session, we will now go to the gameplay for everybody at home. 19 drivers on the grid, as you can see, Gob in P11, jumping out of the comms box. So as we wait for the drivers getting their setups, we will just have a bit of a chat about potentially who could win. Obviously, Matty, huge loss tonight, so can we find Kaio? Obviously, if he can keep it penalty free, can he claim a victory? Or can Buster go one step further than last week? Medi, we've seen the pace he's got. Brian in the battle cat, they've got some pace when needed. As we got Broseph joining the lobby, so he should be too far away from joining this comm box. But Daniel Starr as well, obviously, he probably was the unlucky one, missing out on the win last week with the collision with Powers, so hopefully he can get a really good result, as we've got a lot of drivers coming out onto the grid now. Alright, so as we ride on board with Elaine Santa, just let us know if we need to turn the game or voice chat volumes up or down. But we'll have a flying lap with Elaine Santa. So 5.793 kilometre circuit, 11 turns. This is your Temple of Speed at Monza. And here we go with Elaine Santa as he comes through the start-finish line with a bit of DRS. And it's going to be very interesting to see what are they looking at top speed wise, about 354. And he slows it down into turn 1, going around turn number 2 now, as we come around the fast flat out turn number 3. So we have seen guys go side by side previously around here, and got to make sure he gets the braking point here for turn 4 and 5, the second chicane. Has a front one through there, and he's going to come up to the two Lesmos. Lesmo 1. And you need to keep it well within track limits, and then Lesmo 2. All important to get the exit out of here, because as you can see, DRS now enabled once again down this straight. So a poor exit out of there, that will leave you vulnerable. And then the famous Scurry chicane. Left, then right, then left. Plenty of room off the exit. And again, if you get a poor exit through a Scurry, then potentially a move down the inside here, turn number 11, the final corner at Parabolica. So, got to be a little bit careful running wide and invalidating your lap. But he carried the speed nicely through there, and Elaine Sandel will go at 20.2, sorry, to start out first flying lap at Monza. As we'll find the next driver who's coming across the line, Ethimon does it 20.1, a tenth quicker in the Williams. So we're going to definitely see a 19 not before long, as isn't Greddy going to be able to do that? Fuel light flashing. So this will be his one and only lap. He goes top 3, but Sam behind in the Haas goes at 20.1 provisional pole early on. As we've got the other Ferrari of Jenneth Lee, he's been very quick in one lap pace, but Kaya in the Williams reserving goes at 19.9. Jenneth, can he go to the top? No, he can't, stays 20.5. As we just watch a few of these blokes come across the line. Marty goes in P10, Musa up into P2. Very, very close times at the moment. As while we switch to the Mercedes, watching Brian come across the line, he goes P2, 19.9, just squeezes underneath the 20th barrier. Pleased to welcome Broseph into the comms box. Broseph, pleasure having you jump in at the last minute. Oh, and he's on mute if you can hear us. We'll get him to him very shortly. So having a look, he goes invalidated his lap, unfortunately, with a bit of front wing damage as well. So he's obviously had a collision, maybe had a possibly Lesmo 2. Obviously that's definitely one of your major issues. No rain tonight, realistic weather, so it is cloudy for both sessions, dry for the quali and the race. So we won't see any weather to hamper any of these guys, as Gob is going to start his lap, but we'll switch on board to Quiet, who's actually starting his lap as well. But Kaio and Brian, they're your top 2 provisional front row at the moment. As we...
Got him. How are
yes,
you, mate?
yeah, there we got you, Broseph. I'm doing very well yourself.
Oh, doing good, mate. Happy to jump in here and join you now that Gobby's taken a seat in the car. And yeah, it's great to see these guys getting around here and underway in some action.
Yeah, and as we follow Gobby on his lap as he comes through Lesmo 1 at the moment, how do you find Monza as a circuit yourself?
Oh, I love Monza. The Temple of Speed, the high-speed corners, Scari's definitely a highlight for me. When you can put that one together, it really does feel well. Get a great exit out of there, leading into Parabolica, one of the famous corners in all of F1. It's a tricky one to get right. I a little bit early and try and hit the apex as clean as possible and stay away from that curve on the left-hand side, because it can spit you out and get a track limit warning. But yeah, I really do enjoy it. It's a bit tricky coming into the braking zone to turn 1. Yesterday I didn't do too great there overall, but no, it's an enjoyable track, and being in Italy, of course, a Ferrari fan, it's one of my top tracks, yeah.
As we see Gop go into P17 as Quiet Cake moved himself up into the top 10. So that is pretty much everybody's first runs done and dusted. So we'll see these guys coming out for their second runs. So not sure for you, Bros. Would you save a set of sauce for the race? Obviously, we know that safety cars can sort of be frequent around here. A couple of little areas that can be a little bit tricky with some worn tyres. Would you save a set of sauce, or would you rather just try and get that extra set to try and get as far up the grid as you can?
Personally, I would keep a pair of softs in the back pocket for later on, because as you said, there's just too many chances where a safety car can come out late, and if you get caught napping on some old tyres at the end, you're pretty much toast.
Yeah, it's that bit of a struggle. Obviously, if you do one flying lap, obviously you're not going to be worried too much about tyre wear. If there's like a safety car 5 laps to go or 6 laps to go, you're not going to really get to that margin. But obviously, just it's an interesting case to point out as eBay Boy goes into pole position provisionally on a 19.9. So looking good in the McLaren tonight. I was on board with the Aston Medi. So coming through Ascari chicane now, he's pretty much just got one corner left to go. So we'll see what his pace is like. Just quick standings for Medi, obviously. P8 at the moment, 37 points down on Matty, so he obviously wants to try and capitalise as he cuts the line as much as he can, and he goes exactly
Nice. Wow.
exactly the same time, but that drops him down to P2 because eBay Boy said it first.
Yep. First in best dress, so eBay Boy and McLaren, yep, holding on to pole there, even though it's exactly the same time. And yeah, Medi in the Aston Martin, I'm sure team principal Wayne will be happy with that one. I reckon Medi is definitely, he'll be fighting at the end of the season for a championship. He's that good, probably tier 1 worthy, probably about mid-pack of tier 1. So no, he'll be having a great showing here today as we see massive ego in the Red Bull going fastest overall with a 1:19.8. So I'm sure Timmy will be keen to see his drivers perform a little bit better today. I think they had a bit of a shock yesterday, Red Bull.
Yeah, and as I said, it's the tier 2 boys that have really been working well for him. Obviously, Matty and Ego scoring massive amount of points as we saw earlier in the standings. Scored the most out of any team last week. And yeah, Ego's been really, really good in that pole position at the moment. That puts him in a great place to continue on from Matty's good form and potentially pick up another W. As Kai's out on his out lap, we find the next set of drivers. That's Buster in the Alpine, second in the championship, second last week in the main race at Portugal. We'll see what his one lap pace is like. So he was a little bit unlucky in Spain. So as he crosses the line and he takes provisional pole off of Ego 19.7. So Buster's got one lap's pace around there. Be very interesting to see what wing levels all these guys are running. As I said, you don't need much around here, but it might just give you a little bit of help through the corners.
Yeah, that's right. I think race winner yesterday at Tetris and the Williams, your teammate Scotty, he was running a 7.5. I was running a 6.5. So yeah, you're right. Most cars you will find will be running similar wings to that today, and yeah, it'll be interesting to see who has the better straight line speed down the front straight there.
Yeah, Letter P goes 19.7 as we just switch on to him coming through the Parabolica. It is getting close, and it's only a fine margin. It's only an 82nd lap around here, and it's going to be close, but it's just moving that pole position bar just a little further ahead. But in saying that, Kai's only about 2/10 off. Daniel Starr's 2/10 off as we've got Jenneth going into the top 10 on a 20 flat. So we've still got 6.5 minutes left to go in the session, so plenty of time for these guys to set more flying laps as we're on board with Kaio at the moment. I think he's one of the later ones on a flying lap. So we'll stay on board with Kaio. Really impressive last week, winning the sprint and finishing on the podium. Obviously, the 6 seconds really hurt him in the end, but he did clear Ego by that half second that he needed to finish it in P3. Obviously, Kaio potentially searching around for a full-time seat, perhaps in Tier 2, so it'd be very interesting as he's already a 10th up in the first sector.
Absolutely, Scotty. Super sub at the moment. Kaio is definitely sniffing around
Was
for a
Marty
full-time seat.
B.
It's just see Marty B in the McLaren. Fastest overall with a 1:19.4. That actually sets the fastest time of the weekend. In qualifying, it was a 19.5, I believe, yesterday for J-Man taking pole in the Aston Martin. And Tetris right behind with a 1:19.7. So Marty B, the fastest lap overall this weekend at Inters at Monza. Well done, Marty.
Yeah, and I was about to say, we said it'd go up a bit by bit. That's a 3/10 gap that he's improved by, so that's a fair jump. So Kaio, he was a 10th up in the first sector, missed what his second sector split was, but he's going to have to find a fair bit of time now to try and take that provisional pole position. Needs half a second. Kyle will cross the line, and he does do it. 19.462 by
Wow.
5/1000ths of a second. This is going to be a very close qualifying to be sure. And Kyo takes the mantle at the moment as we hit 5 minutes left to go in our round 3 Tier 2 race at Monza. This is going to be a final fury of laps. I reckon it's going to be very interesting. I could not tell you who I'd give pole position to with these guys improving and the track just improving that little bit as every minute goes past.
Yeah, no doubt. It's a shot at the dark at the moment to find out who's going to get pole. But yeah, Kaya must have got a fantastic exit out of the Ferrari because he did find that extra time he needed through Parabolica and crossing the line there to take pole. So he continues his great form, Kyo, and we've got just under 5 minutes to go here in qualifying. So the boys are going to get out one more time and see if they can improve because I think the track is evolving as time's going by here, Scotty.
Yeah, 100%. Just having a look at a little bit of data that I've got, and Marty might have just had a little bit of a slipstream toe potentially from his teammate because he is fastest in the speed trap by about 6 kilometres, which is a fair chunk, especially because we're already hitting 355 as it is. He hit 362 down that first straight, so I reckon he got a fair toe, and it possibly could have been from eBay Boy too.
Well, I can tell you, I just was in a chat with Marty B, eBay Boy, Battle Cat, Santa, Swiss Lord. There's a fair few boys in there. So yeah, I think they were working together. I believe it's the first time eBay Boy and Marty B are actually out on track together. The first time this season. Of course, Marty missed round 1, and I think eBay Boy missed. May have been last.
Yeah, it would
weekend.
It would have been last weekend.
If I remember correctly. Remember Powers was.
Yeah, yes, it would have been Powers. I'm pretty sure on the McLaren. Yes, that would have been 100% correct. But as we are watching Sam and the Battle Cat coming through the secondary straight as they come through Ascari, Sam already through a Battle Cat, just coming through it now. So obviously going a little bit out of sync with these laps. So this potentially could be these guys' last flying laps, because I don't think they'll have enough time to come into the pits, and that makes a tyre change. So Sam currently in P12. Can he get anywhere close to the top 5? Crosses the line, he goes straight into P3. Found 4/10 as I quickly switch to the Battle Cat. Where does he go? Right behind his teammate into the top 5. So both of them finding improvement, both on a 19.7. And it's very close between those 3 drivers. Add Buster into that as all these guys coming out now. So this is going to be a bit of an issue in the last 2.5 minutes, is finding track position to get your lap done. Obviously, a tow around here is very, very important, but dirty air in what is only 11 corners, dirty air will cost you time compared to the current pole position of a 19.4.
Yeah, that's right, Scotty. Definitely closing the gap towards the front, the top 5. You can see the top 2 drivers there, absolutely nothing splitting those, and then 3, 4, and 5 all in the 1:19.7. So, and even Buster in the P6 there, 1:19.7 as well. So absolutely nothing splitting these cars at the moment, and yeah, it's going to be an absolute shot in the dark, like I said earlier, to who's going to get pole. We've got just under 2 minutes to go, and these guys will be starting their last final laps. Really now. I think it's the Massive DJ Damo will be the first car coming through, Scotty.
Yeah, I'm just going to keep an eye on YK because he's on his last flying lap, but he's got a lot of traffic to deal with. Mercedes gets out of his way, and so does the Williams, so hopefully it wouldn't have affected his lap too much. And now he's got a bit of track, clear track ahead of him, so he might be able to get his lap done. He goes into the pit, so that's his session done and dusted. He's currently P7 at the moment. As we switch back over to Quiet Cake, I think Jenneth is behind him, so Quiet Cake, I believe, will be the first one to cross the line as we hit 1 minute left to go in our qualifying session here at Monza. Sam has retired in the pits as well. So, obviously, he put that late banker in, or that late lap in. What about his teammate, Quiet Cake? Can he go towards the top? He's down on his time and he won't have enough to actually get any further. What about Jenneth? He's in the pit, so he didn't improve. So it's now...
P.
Yes, into P3. So jump Sam, great lap from him.
He improves.
And he's only... Yeah, sorry, and he's... Yeah.
And 4.
Yeah, only 6/1000ths off off pole position. Very, very close. eBay boys got 20 seconds to get to the line, so eBay will be our last driver across the line. So he starts his final flying lap. So it's a Red Bull, where is it? Of Mumba, who actually has.
Mamba.
So I feel like he's got more time. I think he was about 3/10 up on his split. The Aston behind him might actually get a nice tow if he's caught up late, as we do hit the checkered flag now.
Yeah,
so, alright, what can Gob do? 20th as well, but we'll watch Mumba cross the line first. So the run to the line, Mumba, where does he go? Moves up into 16th. What about Gob behind him? Goes into 19th. A couple of guys behind go into pit lane. Ethimon stays 15th. But Battlecat, he's done. So
In the pit.
So it's these top guys who want to.
Up into P7 with a 1:19.8.
Nice lap there. I think with the other Alfa Romeo, letter P stays third. But what about Marty? Kaio, he improves his time 19.423, as he needed to do that because Medi goes 19.444, which would have been pole without Kaio's improvement. And I think, except for eBay Boy, which would.
That's it.
eBay Boy's currently a 10th
eBay
down.
Boy.
Does he improve? He does into the top 5. Great last lap. And the last runner to cross the line, but it's Kaio. He improved his lap. He needed to, because that scores in pole position. Medi, about 200s behind. I think he was about the lower end of the 10. But he jumps into P2. Marty, obviously doing that lap, didn't improve, unfortunately, but it's great effort from him. P3. It's both McLaren as well. P5. And then Alfa Romeo as well, P4 and P7 for the letter P and the Battle Cat. Sam, great lap from him in P6. But yeah, we knew it was a fast lap, fast end of quali. It was. Kaio picks up pole position.
Oh, it was fantastic qualifying. Just an absolute shootout at the end there. So just capping out the final top 7. So we had the top 10, Battlecat in P7. We had Buster in P8, the Alpine team principal there. Alan Santa in the Alpha Tauri P9, and Massive Ego Damo P10 in the Red Bull. So yeah, Kaio strikes again. Medi just very, very close behind. I mean, it was 2/10 separating P1 to P5 there, and Marty B just 1,000 in front of the letter P there in P4. So Scotty, this is going to be an absolute fantastic race. As long as these boys can keep it clean into turn 1, we're in for an absolute thriller.
Yeah, and that's exactly what these guys need to do, and that's the danger part, is lap 1, turn 1, because at least with the safety car restart, you at least sort of single file where you might get moves here and there, whereas we've seen on plenty of occasions at this racetrack being 3-4 wide into turn 1 and having a fair bit of carbon fibre off your front wings gone. So all important to get your braking point, and then if you're in the midfield pack, just making sure that, yeah, hang on, I might have to brake just about 20 metres a little bit early, just to make sure that I'm not touching the car in front. But as I said, perfect spot from Kaio and Medi. They get clear air. It's just whether of who's leading when they get to the braking point at turn number 1.
Yeah, correct. I think as long as the boys at the front can keep it semi-clean, that'll prevent there being a bottleneck further down the field, because, you know, the guys at the back, that, you know, you can't see too much, obviously, further up in front of you, but as long as you show a bit of anticipation, maybe lift a little bit before braking, coming into that heavy braking zone, and, yeah, just find your way through nice and peacefully. But here we go, Scotty. We've got 5 lights. Take it away, mate.
Yeah, and they got held for a little bit, as we do have all 5 lights now out. It's Kaio leading away from Medi, but Medi got a little bit of a better jump, so he'll have the inside line as we come down into turn number 1. Do we make it all cleanly? As we got some side-by-side, and that's Ego. He cut the turn 1, obviously trying to not cause a collision, so he gets a 5-second penalty for corner cutting, but he's given all those positions back, as Medi has a 4/10 of a second lead as we come into turn number 4 at the moment, as it's getting very tight with the Alfa Romeo of the Battle Cat looking for a move on Sam, but not quite happening. So a couple of guys picking up penalties. I think Mumba was also another car that went wide. He did, 5-second time penalty for him. But at least we've got all 20 cars facing the right way as we hit the Lesmo 2.
Yeah, pretty clean start overall. The guys over there just having to feel their way through the field a little bit there, just getting on the brakes and just having to let cars go
sorry,
past a little bit cleanly there.
Sorry, and that's a big collision from Swiss Lord, completely outbraking himself. He's lost his entire front wing, and then Ego. Unfortunately, he copped a whack, but he still keeps going in the same direction, so he should still be right, but hopefully the guys can allow Swiss Lord to get into pit lane, so this could be a little bit of carnage. No, he can't. He manages to get into pit lane perfectly. As we'll look further up the field, we've got Buster and the Battle Cat. So Buster down the inside, and I think that was the AlphaTauri trying to stick his nose up in there as well of Elaine Santa. Always we got a car around at the back, and that was Ethimon. And I think Daniel Star as well. I think it was Daniel Star that was the car that caught my attention, that spun. So plenty of issues in the midfield, sorry, as we got Sam passing the letter P for P5. Rosen, what are you catching?
Oh, unfortunately in the marbles, absolutely at turn 6. Yep, he's absolutely in the gutter there. Unfortunately, he's just turning his car around there in Marlborough as well. Misses his braking zone into turn 1, so we've got a couple of yellow flags, and it looks like the field may have slowed down.
Got a virtual safety car, so these will allow the guys just to maybe settle down a bit. But yeah, just a few little issues as it does now come up on your top right, top left of your screen. So we haven't seen much of Medi, Kai, and Marty, just with the way that the race has unfolded. But obviously, eBay Boy up into P4 just behind his teammate. And if they're in a party together, they're in a really good spot. Sam at P5, let P6. Buster in 7th. But having a quick look at the tyre compound, as you can see, a lot of the top runners starting on the mediums, we go down to 13th, which we'll see our first difference of tyre, which is a soft. Gob on the hards, which he started in 19th, so he's been able to avoid the carnage. And we've got the Battle Cat coming in. So what is he going on? Oh yes, he's got damage. So we've got the Battle Cat, Ethimon, Quiet Cake, and Jeneth, all with front wing damage. So he's getting his pit lane, his wing fixed. Jeneth picks up a 5-second time penalty. As we do get back underway, battle for the lead. Kai down the inside at turn number 4. Does he pull it up in time? Medi tries to hang it around the outside. Kai just gave him enough room. So coming into Lesmo 1, Kai just hanging on. So Kai obviously got the better jump off the VSC. So he had a better run, I think, through turn 3 as it was. And Medi is now the car chasing down the Williams, who has DRS. As we'll chuck this stuff on for everybody at home. So Medi retakes the lead from Kaio. And Marty B and eBay Boy just sit pretty in P3, P4. Sam and Letter P as well into the top 6. The guys who have boxed onto either a medium or a hard compounder tyre. So landing it.
Buster's got a good run here. Letter P coming into Parabolica there, Scotty.
Yeah, so Buster.
He's just going to tuck in behind that Alfa Romeo. Yep, but Alan Santa up on the inside gets the move done on Buster.
Yeah, and Elaine Santa will look.
Buster's coming back on the outside there.
Could be 3 wide. As we've got Buster retakes that position that he lost. Elaine Santa wants to try and go for it. Let it P. I think he got a wheel on the grass, which sent him deep. And now Brian Bromley trying to take advantage around the outside. Will have the better traction. So Let It P went from 6th to 9th in the space of about 600 metres, unfortunately. So he'll just have to recover, and he'll be able to get those positions back if he can stay with the train. That is all important around here, just staying with the train. As Swiss Lord on those new hard compounder tyres sets the fastest lap 23 flat.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I know Letter P is fairly new to league racing, so he has been performing really well during qualifying. Obviously boosted by that P4 today. As you said, he's down into P9, but just trying to find his feet here, and he's got a bit of a gap behind him to 3 seconds, so hopefully he won't be feeling too much pressure and just bring that car under a bit more balance there and keep on the back of Brian and just watch these veterans in front of him and see how it's done.
Yeah, and you've got Elaine Santa, Elaine's really good out of the Ascara chicane and already gets the move done on Buster. Problem is, the detection zone is pretty much at the turn-in point at Parabolica, so it'd be interesting to see who actually got the jump, as we do have the fastest lap. So Buster will get the move done on Elaine Santa. Got to quickly switch back to the lead of the race because Kaio getting passed by Medi on the inside. So Medi retakes the lead. So these two are pretty much on a swap positions, and you can see the two separate trains that we have. And if Buster and Elaine can sort of work together, they'll be able to catch back up to this train. Because these two out the front really fighting. Kaio, I thought he was potentially going to try and go for a move with Medi, but not quite, as Metalcat says, fastest lap, obviously pitting after that front wing damage. So really unfortunate for the guys that got a little bit unlucky, as Ego does as well, but again, he got unlucky as well. But he's got rid of his 5-second penalty as well, so that helps Ego if we do get a late safety car. But Medi, he leads from Kaio, but Kaio, does he decide to send a move down at the Ascara chicane entrance? He doesn't. He's going to wait for turn 1.
Tell you what, the battle at the front here between these two, Medi and Kaio, is open the door for Marty B, who's just 2/10 behind the gearbox of the Williams and Kaio Tonic at the moment. So Marty B licking his lips and looking to make a move. Probably on the next lap, you'd say, Scotty, here.
Yeah, and he takes a bit of a tighter line through Parabolica as well, so he's going to get a better run through here as we come across the line to start lap 6 of 27. And as he got his nose just in front, we've got a yellow flag, so this might be the case for the guys to get before we get the safety car. Who was in front? I think it might have been Marty B, but obviously Ego out of Lesbo 2, unfortunately. So we just caught that, but yeah, unfortunately Ego not having the afternoon that he had last week, so unfortunately that is a goose egg for him in terms of points. But safety car, and as you can see from about 13th down, these guys will all come in to make a stop, going onto the medium tyres. Going to be a stretch. I think he may make it 21 laps, being just the sort of tyre wear around here, but he's probably going to maybe want to hope for another safety car. But I have a feeling we should see all these medium runners come in. My only sorry thought is eBay Boy. He's going to have to double stack, unfortunately.
Yeah. That's going to be the issue for the McLaren team, no doubt about it. I'll tell you what, Red Bull are just having an absolute nightmare round. That's one of their drivers out already. I know they didn't have a strong showing yesterday, and compared to last week, it's been an absolute turn of the tables for Red Bull. So, look, there's still over 20 laps to go, so hopefully Mamba can scrape his way back into the points. But yeah, it's been a rough start for the boys from Red Bull.
Yes, Legend, you called it that he DNF, so yeah, unfortunately we've lost one car. Do these guys come? Kaio stays out, interestingly enough. Marty B as well. eBay Boy stays out as well. See, would you have split your two?
In.
Yeah, so Medi's in. So if you boys coming in, so if you were McLaren, would you have split your strategy and got one of these boys to come in?
It's hard to say. I probably would have gone with whatever the drivers felt, to be honest, Scotty. I probably wouldn't have told them one way or the other whether to come in. It's just how they felt at the time on the tyres, and obviously working together side by side. I think these two can really keep the pressure on Kaio. So, yeah, I would have been comfortable with them making the call there.
Yeah, I can sort of agree to that. My only thing is that with the way this field has come out, eBay Boy or Marty, depending on which one would have boxed, would have come out in P5 with their pit stop already done. They're on the hard tyres till the end of the race. Just a little something. Obviously, just going to call it how I see it. But yeah, a little bit of strategy. I would have at least probably would have at least got one of them to come in. But as I said, we'll see how they go. They're obviously P2, P3 at the moment. As I said, it's a question, obviously, preparing for my race tomorrow. Is the medium soft around here doable with the tyre wear? Because obviously, I probably haven't done this track for a while. Is one of these drivers looking for a medium soft potentially?
Look, I mean, it's doable, but you wouldn't advise it. I mean, I did get some pretty good insight yesterday from one of the Tier 1 drivers that a hard to soft is absolutely doable. I didn't have the courage to pull that one yesterday, but Yeah, I'd probably say the hard stop would be the way to go around here if you wanted to pull the soft tyre.
Yeah, that's definitely something that we could potentially, I say it could be potentially, we could see, but everyone's mate who started on the hards have had to make a pit stop, and I don't think and I honestly don't think it was their call to stop. I think Gob obviously had to box onto the medium tyres because obviously he's taken advantage of a safety car. Daniel Starr, I'm pretty sure he got involved in an incident. Mamba potentially got involved in an incident, same as Ethimon and Janet. So, as I said, we haven't had much luck towards the back, but as I said, you can see on screen only the top 4 have not made their compulsory pit stop yet, so they will be in the pit lane at least once more. Medi, Sam, Buster, Elaine, Santa, and Brian, they're probably your net 5 on the grid at the moment that can technically go to the end. The worst thing for the top 4 is if we see a safety car straight after this one. That's going to be their worst
absolutely.
call. They need this. They need a bit of green flag running, so that forces the hard runners to come back in to go onto either a medium or a soft tyre. You cannot afford to have it. You cannot afford to go green flag racing straight away to then have a safety car, because then I think you sort of have hand size in terms of. I think I might have to actually make a stop here. So, but we still got 19 laps to go, so I guess we'll find that all out with strategy. Ethimon is about half a lap behind, so we may be going one more lap. But what I will do...
No, I completely agree with that. I think the crux of that, Scott, is going to be Kaio getting away to a clean start and a safety car restart. If he can do that, he'll give all the cars behind him a good chance of staying ahead of those cars in front of him and getting a little bit of a gap and reducing the chance of another safety car.
Yeah, and as we see the position changes on screen for everybody at home, Marty up 1, eBay Boy up 2. Your biggest smoother is Gob, and technically he's made a pit stop, so he is net 6 at the moment. So from Gob being a last minute call up, considering he was meant to be in the box with me, he's done really well to stay out of trouble, and on those medium tyres he'll have a bit more pace to the guys around him. We'll just have to wait and see if he can use that pace, or if he's just sort of happy sitting in the what will probably be a DRS trade. But as you said before, Broseph, top 4, especially Kaio, are wanting to get away, but looking at the tyre where they're right in the middle of that first cliff, so I don't know if they're going to actually have the grip to pull away, which is the issue, because on average we're looking at about 23-24% for those top 4 medium runners, so that's obviously a big hurting factor of them staying out.
Yeah, they're going to fall away. That grip's going to fall away after probably 2 laps here after the safety car comes in. So those medium runners, you're right, it's going to be crucial that they can get away. But I just think, those hards are going to have much better grip, and it won't take long for Sam, Eddie, and Buster, those types, to really lay the pressure on here. And geez, it's going to be interesting to see how this unfolds.
Well, we're going to see how this restart plays. Safety car is in at the end of this lap, so we'll begin this. We will restart this race on lap 10 of 27. Kaio has control, and this is a hard track because Parabolica, you need to get a good exit. Problem is that start finish line is very close to the Parabolica exit, so you've then got a long distance down to turn 1. So it's going to be very hard for Kaio to break. He needs to catch Marty B unaware, but Marty he won't let that gap for the Williams really widen. So he'll be right on the back of this Williams rear wing as we come around the final corner.
Safety car is in,
and Kaio's gone.
Looks like he's gone.
Yeah, so it was a great jump from Kaio. Yeah, I reckon it's going to be the letter P potentially making a move on eBay Boy coming into turn number 1. Has he got the guts to send it? He sort of did, but he's just got to be a little bit careful that he doesn't open the door for Medi on those new hards. As we are, I think, all clean through turn number 1. Got a little side-by-side action between Battle Cat and Junkyard Dog. But it looks all clean through. We've got all 19 drivers through as Kaio has gapped about 0.6 of a second, so he needs to just start pushing if he can. but the battle to watch is definitely Letter P on Medi, because Medi should have a little bit more grip, and if you can warm up those hard tyres quite nicely, and you can have a look at, have a look at Sam as well. Sam really on the tail of Medi as well, so these two looking to gain positions early, as Marty I think had a bit of a moment.
Yep, he may have gone a little bit wide, jumped down, he got a little bit wide out of turn 7. We had Daniel Starr on the inside of the Ferrari Granny Fatty and got a nice little position there. So Daniel Starr, the newly minted admin member at Intus Racing League here, so he's looking pretty good. That's Buster's teammate in the Alpine. Looks like Alan Santos got a lot of pressure on Buster as well in the Alpha Tauri in P8. So yeah, there's a fair few scraps going on here. Maybe all over the back of the letter P as well, Scotty. It's going to come down to turn 1 here, and who's got the bit of braking?
Yeah, and we saw Buster going really wide out of the Scarra chicane, which allowed the Lane Xander to potentially have that move, but Medi going down the inside. We got Buster going down the inside of Sam, so the all-important thing is to make sure that you get your braking zone right. Medi down the inside of the letter P. Anthony Mon's retired from the session in pit lane, so will remain green flag racing. Medi and letter P still side by side. Sam, he'll be the one to potentially capitalise on it as we ride on board with the Haas driver side by side with the Haas. Oh, and there's contact. Oh, not sure if that was lag, but there was a little bit of contact there, but Sam still holds the move. So I don't think Sam will be too happy about that. Letter P drops down into P6. And yeah, great job.
Nice. Sorry, Sam won't die wondering if there's a chance there for him to shoot the gap. He'll absolutely go for it. And Letter P just thinking better of it, tucking in behind him. And Buster's got a nice run in the Alpine at the moment on the Alfa Romeo driver in P6. So maybe just have a look at this action out of Ascari.
Yeah, Buster's probably struggled out of this corner. Oh, and that's Letter P. He's on the inside of the track, so if the guys are aware, they shouldn't have contact. All right, that's great driving from Letter P just to stay still and the guys to take the outside line. Thankfully, he spun in the way that he spun on the inside and just left enough of the gap for the guys to do it, but that's really unfortunate.
Nope. He's out now, he's out.
No, he's right, cool. All right, so he's still back into this race as Medi takes P3 off of one of the McLarens and gets the job done, but we got Buster not looking on the Haas, but we got the Mercedes on Brian Bromley going around the outside of Elaine Santa, gets the job done. Further back, we've got Battle Cat and Gob, I think, going side by side. So Battle Cat in P.
Battle Cat up on the inside.
Oh, but Junkyard Dog with maybe a bit of ERS as he gets the job done. So he's up into P10 as Gob's just struggling a little bit. Daniel Starr gets the move done on the Aston Martin. And he'll be a little bit vulnerable to Granny, but still holds the position. So DRS enables this lap, but as you can see on the left-hand side of your screen, everybody from second down to 13th has it. So still one big train at the moment. Kaio at the front leading it, but remember, Kaio and eBay still have to make a pit stop.
Oh, Medi, those pressure tyres, he's making a move on eBay. At the moment up into P2, and Kaio absolutely not letting him get through it all. So eBay boy takes the lead of this race into Parabolica. Looks like maybe a little bit of contact there. Medi into the back of Kaio, but he takes P2. So Kaio not having a good run out of Ascari.
Yeah, but Kaio's going to actually have DRS on Medi. So Medi DRS on eBay boy. So we're going to see 3 wide down at turn number 1. Kaio's on the inside. Can he pull it up in time? There's a wheel there. Is there going to be contact? No, there's not, just given enough for him. Medi will hold the lead, but eBay boy had the better line as we've got Chaos in the back, car around into the wall.
Numbers out.
And we're going to see a virtual safety car, which will turn into the full safety car.
It's Ascari out of Ascari, so another Red Bull has been claimed victim, so both Red Bulls out. Timmy will be absolutely disgusted.
Yeah, he was looking he would have been really happy after last week, but yeah, Ego and Mumba, unfortunately, they're out. It was a big issue. It seemed like before turn 1 or at the braking point of turn 1. So I'm wondering if there was side-by-side contact down the straight. I'm having a look. I can't see anybody with damage that's showing their data. So I guess we'll find out if there are any front wing damages. But you're gonna see Kaya come in. You're gonna see eBay boy come in. You're gonna see Marty come in. Do you see the hard runners coming in onto another set of the medium tyres? They have the extra set if they've gone with the balanced.
that's the call, isn't it? That's going to be interesting to see what they decide. If it was me and I was running in the top 7 with the hards, I'd absolutely stay out. I'd take track position.
No, Medi's coming in. Medi's coming in.
Medi's coming in.
I think he knows that because Kaya and the 3 behind him, they have to stop. I think he knows he can do that.
Smart thing to do.
Buster stays out. Daniel Star stays out. So our team play here. Granny stays out. See, and you can see all those guys come in and boxed. You're only going to have 5 guys that stayed out, 4 guys that stayed out. So it's a smart play from Medi because you're on your P5 on mediums against a whole lot of guys ahead of you that are on hards or mediums that are worn, and you saw how quickly Medi was sort of getting through the field on those old mediums anyway. So, and he's on a better tyre now as well. It's just a matter of if he can hit Kyo there. Problem is, eBay boy's gone softs. Marty B has gone softs. Marty B did get held a little bit by his teammate as well, so that hurt him. So he's dropped down to P10. So McLaren, their night hasn't worked out, but we're in the same situation as our previous safety car. The top 4 have stayed out on older rubber from 5th down on new rubber, but we've got a little bit of a mixture, and honestly, I'm liking my chances for Medi here. Medi's in a real prime position.
Yeah, I think Medi's absolutely pulled the trigger at the right time for these pit stops. As we said, he was really moving through the field on those fresher tyres for the safety car, and he's going to do exactly the same thing here, even more so because the cars in front of him much more wear on those tyres. So, yeah, on those fresh mediums, he's really played this to perfection, and he's also in really good form too, Medi. So that's everything is turning up sunshine for Medi at the moment in the Aston Martin. And I tell you what, Wayne Morris will be happy to see Medi in such cracking form here. So a little bit further down, as you said, those 2 runners on softs, eBay Boy and Marty B. Complete strategy there from the teammates on softs with half of this race to go. So they're probably banking on the safety car, I imagine.
Yeah, you think that surely they'd struggle to get to the end. They may get to the end, but those softs, you have a feeling that they're going to really struggle because with the letter P on those hards, I'd imagine letter P's coming in. No, letter P's going to stay out on those hard tyres. But yeah, you're going to imagine that 12 laps left to go if the safety car comes in at the end of this lap. They're going to struggle. They'll be quick early. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see. McLaren's obviously thinking of a different way here. And if they've gone softs now, I'm wondering if they were actually always going to do a medium soft or try and attempt it. Because they had gotten halfway and they hadn't still made a stop. So I reckon that was probably a strategy, probably same as Kyo, that first safety car that forced them into that medium soft strategy. But I guess we'll find out. We'll never really know what the strategy is because obviously this second safety car has forced their issue. What it does do, Buster and Daniel Star P1, P2. Daniel Star's had a bit of a crappy race. Obviously, we saw him turn around at turn 1, I think, on lap 2. So recovered well, but again, he's got to take those mediums quite a distance. They're probably about the same stage as we do see the safety car in. Probably the same stage as what Kyo's tyres were on the previous restart, and you can see the new hards and Medi on those new mediums now. I have a feeling he won't be able to break, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, the thing working in Daniel Star's favour with those 8-lap old mediums is the fact that he's got a buffer to Medi on the 1-lap mediums, and that's Granny, Fatty, and Janet both on the old hard. So Medi has to get through the 2 Ferraris before he can start to put pressure on Daniel. So Daniel should get a little bit of a buffer here working together with his teammate, you'd imagine, once the safety car comes in and Buster takes this point away.
Yeah, so Kyo went at this point, so Buster's obviously holding off a little bit longer. He's got a teammate for protection as he's gone now. So start of lap 16, we have 12 laps left remaining in this Tier 2 race at Monza. Alpine currently 1 and 2, as you can see behind. Ferrari 3 and 4. Medi already sending a move down on Jenneth. Jenneth spun on the grass. Does he make contact? Yes, there is. Plenty of contact with the car. Sam picks up a 5-second time penalty for corner cutting to avoid that issue. And our third safety car is now coming out. And Sam picks up a 5-second penalty for Marty B.
Yeah,
So
that was absolutely chaos there. Unfortunately, Jenna, on those really, ooh, yep,
I don't.
yeah, at the back of the field, it's
I
chaos.
think. I think he just got on the grass. I think it looked like he just got on the grass. Not
He
100.
may have hit that left tyre.
Not
Yep.
100% sure. Problem is, Sam has got front wing damage, Brian front wing damage, Gob has front wing damage, Battlecat front wing damage, Janet front wing damage. So you're going to see those five cars come into box. So Marty, I think, just avoided any carnage. So he's moved up. He's been gifted 3 positions up into P7. But yeah, safety. We know safety cars breed safety cars, but it was a little bit of a weird incident because you normally think, oh, someone's just sent it at turn 1 and then there's been a collision. But no, it was just that Jenneth, unfortunately, I think rear hit the grass. He spun. He hasn't moved, but no one else has had anywhere to go on that outside line, unfortunately.
But yeah, Jenneth, nothing really he could do there. He was frozen into one for a couple of seconds there, and as the cars came around, there was just nowhere to go. So super unfortunate. Lots of carbon fibre went flying into turn 1, and yeah, third safety car in 16 laps is not ideal.
Sorry, lots of guys coming into the pits for soft tyres. So I thought this might hurt Buster and Daniel Starr, but this might actually help them because they're on soft tyres. And because you can see everybody else come in and boxed, Buster's actually in P7 and hasn't lost a lot of ground. And soft tyres with 10 laps to go, maybe about 9 racing laps, Buster will be there. The only one that didn't decide to make that decision was Kyo, and he's on the hard compounded tyres. So he's going to have a lot of work to do to keep all those soft runners behind him. As you can see, a lot of guys either putting on a soft or a new medium. So this is going to be very interesting to see how Kyo's pace is. If he can't hold on with Medi and Kyo doesn't block it, and Kyo does a good enough job defending, you might as well give Medi the race win now.
Yeah, Medi will be absolutely laughing at the moment, sitting in P1, knowing that Kyo's on 3-lap-old hards, and he's got the medium compound, so he should be able to break that DRS, you'd imagine, and scamper away with this one. But yeah, I mean, we've just seen a lot of carnage this race, especially the last 5 or so laps. And yeah, anything can really happen at the moment. It's really coming down to strategy. These guys needing to make quick decisions at the right time to get the best compounded tyre on to give the best chance of finishing as high as possible here, and it's rather stressful, you've got to say, not just on the body but on the brain as well, to make sure you get every decision as correct as possible to help your team out.
Yeah, and it's the guys that, I won't say luck's involved, but it's just guys that can think on their feet, capitalise from it. And as I said, I think it was a smart play from both our Alpines just to come in. Obviously, Daniel Starr had to double stack, but that was, as I said, I think the tyres that they were on, they were going to struggle to keep the guys behind, so at least they're now on an attacking tyre. I was on Brian just before. Unfortunately, he's got some decent floor damage as well, looking at my data, so he's going to probably struggle. Yeah, so not sure how bad the floor damage is, but I have a feeling it's probably a decent whack, because I think he did get a decent whack from, I think, the guys on his side pod or from behind. So yeah, Brian's really going to probably struggle, but we'll have to wait and see how he goes. Currently just inside the top 10. So as we go another lap on the safety car, yeah, go Joseph.
Yeah, there's a couple of cars I'd just like to highlight that have crept up into the top 6 here. So White Cake, the newly signed full-time driver for Haas, he's relatively at the back of the field all race long, but taking advantage here of these safety cars. Him and Swiss Lord as well, and the AlphaTauri, both were scrapping out the back earlier, but find themselves up inside the top 6 on 4-lap-old medium. So let's see how long they can keep off all those soft runners behind them on the fresh tyres.
Yeah, and you can see Quiet Cake on screen, up 14 positions, Granny up 9, Swiss Lord up 7. So the big movers. Gob still up 11, still up 9 spots into 11. He sort of fell back before that last safety car, sorry, 2 safety cars ago now. But still holding P11 on soft tyres. We should have the safety car. It is a bit of a late call, so hopefully these guys are ready to go. As you can see, the stops, it's only Kaya, eBay Boy, Marty made 1 stop. Everyone else has made 2 or more. But it's going to be, looking at penalties real quick, Quiet Cake 5-second penalty, Sam a 5-second penalty. They may get removed if they were avoiding that incident at turn number 1. But we're going to start lap 19 to 27. We're going to have 8 racing laps to go.
Neddy's gone. I
And
tell you what, Kaya's got a great run on him here.
yeah, and I think Kaya needs to get this move done now because he needs to start holding up Medi on those medium tyres. But Kaya not quite having enough. He's going to have to sit behind as we hit turn number 1. So Medi from Kyo. We got moves further down. Daniel Starr. Oh, and there's been contact.
Ooh.
And Brian.
Granny into the back.
Yeah, and I think Brian's gone into the back of Granny. Brian's got front wing damage, and I think he's the one with the end plate gone. Yes, it is on the left-hand side. So Brian, I sort of jinxed him with the floor damage because he's picked up some more damage, unfortunately, as the Battle Cat getting the move on Janet Lee up into P15. Back at the front, our top 4 have gapped Quiet Cake, who's currently in P5 on those older medium tyres. As we have a look at the Alpine. Sorry, Buster on Swiss Lord on those softs. Buster needing to get this move done. Can't quite get it. We'll see what his exit's like out of... Oh, that looked like a bit of a corner cut. He may have picked up a warning there. As we see him, it wasn't too bad of an exit, but he really needs to get past Swiss Lord because he's letting the top pack get away. Daniel Starr and Buster.
Sorry.
Sorry, go.
Oh, yep. No, I saw Sammy slide up into P13 in front of the letter P there, but Buster, you're right, he's got a great run on the back of Swiss Lord here on the outside, down the front straight, up into P6 for the Alpine driver there, the team principal, well done there, Buster, up into P6. Oh, his teammate absolutely sends it on the inside of Swiss Lord and gets the move done. I think Swissy saw that one coming a long way away.
Oh, and Swiss Lord was a little bit wide off the exit, so this will allow him vulnerable. Oh, as Granny gets pushed off onto the grass, but still recovers it. And Gob up in P10, surely not through wide through here. You've got Granny on the inside of turn number 4. Gob's going to try and fight his move as well. Little bit of contact, that forces Gob wide, and then you've got the heart of Sam making an advantage and getting the move done. As we're really getting messy into this as we come through Lesmo 1. As you can see the wiggling of one of the Alpha Romeos, I think that was the letter P, as Gob's gone even wider, so he's gone down from P10 to P16, so he's really been affected by that move as Sam gets past Swiss Lord down the straight before we get to Ascari Chicane. He's up back into P9 after all that damage and the penalties that he's got at that turn 1 incident. So Buster, Daniel Starr in P6, P7 on the freshest soft tyres. Can they close into the lead pack? At the moment, it is Medi by 0.7 of a second. DRS is now enabled with 7 laps left to go.
Yeah, it was a great run there. Swiss Lord's actually got a run on Sammy up on the inside coming into turn 1. So these guys just changing positions at the moment. Looks like the Battle Cat's got a run on his teammate as well. The letter P, but lets him go and just tucks in behind him there. So the Battle Cat move himself and his teammate up inside the top 10.
Yeah, letter P actually held the position on Battle Cat. So always you got the Mercedes taken onto the grass. Where's Junkyard? There he is, getting past the Ferrari driver. We got Sam and Swiss Lord still fighting. Sam up in P9, Swiss Lord in P10. So Granny is about 1.2, so he'll be safe from DRS. Looking further ahead, the Alpines, they're very close together, 0.4 of a second. So will we see a bit of team play and Daniel Starr getting past his teammate? It won't be down at this corner here, possibly at turn number 1. They stay the same. Letter P and Swiss Lord now fighting side by side, and then the Battle Cat getting through as well. So Swiss Lord's lost 2 spots. So those old medium tyres really starting to struggle. He's got the oldest tyres out there on track as Gob goes super wide out of the Ascari exit and then possibly picking up a warning himself. But back at the front, start on lap 22, half a second. It's got to be a DRS play. Marty B currently P3. Does anybody send a move down here? No, they don't. They hold. The eBay boys just sitting nicely. Yeah, so obviously team play there. Yeah, team play there. So we'll see if Daniel Starr's got a bit more pace to close into Quiet Cake. That's sort of the battle that they're in at the moment. Just trying to catch him. But Buster doesn't have the raw speed from the look of it to stay with his teammate. Just needs to try and hang in there if he can. As you got this battle pack still brewing down from P10th downwards. Battle Cat, letter P. And you've got just a train of cars at the moment. But we're going to start sticking with this battle up the front. And it's going to be Marty B.
Yep.
He's looking aggressive. He knows the win potentially is on. He needs to get past Kyo now. Problem is, Kyo still has DRS being within 1 second of Medi. But you can just see how much more pace Marty's got through the Ascari chicane. He's just got that raw grip that Kyo just doesn't have at the moment. But it'd be interesting as God picks up a 3 second time penalty. Yeah, just wondering, I know he's got 4 laps or 5 laps left to go, but those soft tyres will start getting to to a point where they won't be real healthy. But he's saying that Kyo's actually done a really good job to hang with Medi, and he's actually going to go for the overtake for the lead. Goes down the inside, pulls it up in time. He does, but Medi, does he have the grip out of the corner of turn 2? No, he doesn't. Marty actually got the better grip, so Medi, he's just struggling with those mediums. Hasn't been able to get away, and then Marty now wanting to try and push. I commented to all of last season and was wishing Marty to get a win. He was a consistent man, but couldn't actually pick up that top step of the podium. This is his best chance so far this season to step on that top step. And, oh, look at Kyo. He's out of 1 second. So he's pushing those hards, and actually his hards have got less wear than Medi's mediums. So this might have been a brilliant call from Kyo. So he's managed to stay within DRS. He probably knew he could, and now Kyo has actually got the freshest tyres of the top 4.
I'll tell you what, that was now for Daniel Starr with 3 fresher lap tyres than eBay Boy and Marty on those softs. I think Marty and eBay Boy might be struggling in about 3 or 4 laps time right at the end, and Daniel Starr is closing that gap. He got in front of Quiet Cake about a lap ago down this front straight, and Buster, his teammate, putting a bit of pressure on Quiet Cake now on those 9 lap old mediums, 10 lap old.
Yeah, we're going to see it pass
eBay Boy up on the Marty.
Yeah, and this might be a little bit of team play, but remember, this is for the final podium spot on the podium. And remember, if these two really start fighting, that allows Medi to get away as Jennifer picks up a 3 second time penalty. So we got multiple moves down. I think Sam's had an issue. Yeah, so I think he may have had either a spin or something, or had to cut the track. So unfortunately, he's fallen all the way back down to P15. But you have a look at all the gaps. Marty's dropped out of a second from eBay Boy. So eBay Boy, he's dropped out of a second. So it's really going to be a battle just for 2 now, unless the McLarens behind have got raw speed and use a bunch of ERS. But yeah, this might be a decent chance for Daniel Starr. He's got the freshest tyres. He's only 6/10 down on the McLaren. And Buster, he's trying to get past Quiet Cake, not able to do so at the moment. Oh, that was very close to being a warning there, but not quite. But Marty B has got back within his teammates' DRS, and the McLarens now need to work together, otherwise neither of them will finish inside the top 3.
Kyo keeping that nice buffer as well. We've got Medi opening up the rear wing here and really closing that gap. I don't think it's going to be enough coming into turn 1 though, and Kyo looking like he may just hold on to this.
Oh, yellow flag. We've lost Gob, but I think it's too late for a safety car. It is. Yeah, so we will remain green to the end of the race. So unfortunate for Gob. I think he had some good moments, but I don't know if he wanted to actually maybe just stay in the comms box. We might ask him if we have a chat to him. But who we're thinking, can Kyo hold on? And as I said, it's been quite a massive swap around. We thought Medi was just going to romp home with this victory. He's
gone around again.
Yeah, he's obviously had a bit of a... Yeah, so having a moment in the middle, in the second chicane. But look at Quiet Cake, he's really on the... Yeah, looking on the end. So Buster's got past Quiet Cake to P6. So Buster, can he pull out a bit of time? But no, Quiet Cake's actually good through the end of the Ascari chicane. So going to be very interesting, but I'm going to have a go back up the front because we've got 2 laps remaining. Kyo and Medi. Which car wants to be in front for the final lap? I have a feeling Medi may not actually make this move done. No, he's got enough pace with DRS.
P3 on his teammate.
Now, this is all important. Who leads? Yeah, so obviously 6 of the moves. So Marty currently in that final podium position. Daniel Starr's right there. He's there to capitalise. If the guys lose or have a bit of a moment. But it's very close together. Medi has to go defensive on the entry to turn 4. And there's contact and Kyo's around. Sorry. Kyo just managing to... He turned Medi. Medi able to catch it. And Kyo stayed behind. So I don't think that should be an issue. But what it has done is brought Marty, eBay Boy and Daniel Starr really close. So Kyo obviously not planning on doing that. He hasn't got any front wing damage, thankfully, for Kyo.
I think Daniel Starr's going to send.
I think he has to.
No.
No, he hasn't got any battery. None of these boys really have any battery, except for the top 2, really. Top 2 have actually played this smart. But Marty B.
Yeah.
So it's going to be Medi who leads out of Parabolica. So it's going to be Kyo with DRS. It is all important as the letter P. He's gone around on the exit of the chicane, but we'll have to mind that for later. Final lap now. Medi leads by half a second, but it is time. Can Kyo get the move done at turn number 1? Marty B on the outside, not close enough. Oh, Kyo goes deep. And picks up a 3-second time penalty and loses P2.
Oh no.
So just a mistake.
eBay Boy.
So
outside of Kyo here, it's going to turn into the inside. I think he's going to get this move done, and Kyo's out of the...
a little bit of contact.
Positions.
Yeah, he is. And even without the 3 seconds, he's out. But Medi, you thought Kyo would break away, but he managed to hold on. He had a bit of a grip. Maybe Kyo hit those hard compound tyres first clipped. But Medi, 1.1 second gap. It's going to be currently a McLaren 1-2. Kyo in P3. Kyo in P4. eBay Boy P3. Daniel Starr in P5. Maybe potentially looking for a move. But Daniel Starr doesn't need to get this move done as Kyo picking up that 3-second time penalty.
No.
But it's going to be Medi.
Daniel had a horrible exit out of Gary.
Yeah, and I think that's done, but he'll keep within 3 seconds anyway. But it's going to be Medi as we round Parabolica for the final time. Medi making a 2-stop work. He will cross the line to finish in P1. First win of the season for Medi. Marty B and eBay Boy, they come across the line to finish a double McLaren podium. Daniel Starr in P4. Kyo finished in P5 at the end there. Buster in P6. Battle Cat, great recovery from him up in P7. Junkyard Dog in P8. White Cake in P9. And Gretty rounds out our top 10. Lane Santa, Jennifer Lee, Swiss Lord, Sam, and Brian. Maybe trying to go for fastest lap. Fastest lap at the moment currently goes to Medi on a 21.414. He's up by 0.3 of a second is Brian, and he's picked up a 3-second time penalty for cutting the track. But he's going to try and use all the track he can to try and get this fastest lap. So about 0.3 his fastest lap, Brian, is a 4... it's not telling me. That's all right. We'll watch it when he comes to the line. Brian using all his battery. Does he pitch fastest lap? He certainly does. And I think that was a 21. I think that was a 21-1. But Brian having a bit of a mare. He had that damage, unfortunately. But Quiet Cake picks up the game's driver of the day. He finished in P9. So as we have a bit of a breather, sort of all happened at the end there. You thought Kyo might have actually had the pace to run away with it in those last couple of laps, but Medi saved a bit of battery. He actually led into the final lap, but just able to burn all that battery, kept it into the braking point at turn number 1. And Kyo obviously just made the mistake himself and unfortunately finds himself off the podium, but still in a good result in P5. But it's the Aston Martins. Wayne will be a very happy TP. He has his driver on the top step of the podium. But then it's going to be the 2 McLarens as well. They'll be thrilled picking up 2nd and 3rd.
Oh, no doubt about it. The teammates really worked well together today. They will be they'll be really thrilled. I'm sure Powers, the team principal, will be happy. He's had it pretty rough. He hasn't had a driver in Tier 3 show up all season, and he's had a few of his drivers in Tier 2 missing. So Powers has stepped in and replaced some of his missing drivers to keep the points flowing from McLaren, but he'll be very stoked to see a double podium for his Tier 2 drivers there. Daniel Starr strapped all day long to pick up P4 and P6 respectively for his teammate Buster in Alpine. So great group of points there for Tier 2 in Alpine. The Battle Cat, P7 in Alfa Romeo. Unfortunately, his teammate, the letter P, DNF, just on the final lap there after really scrapping it out all day long. He was around the top 10 and did a pretty good job, you've got to say. Junkyard Dog replaced him in the Mercedes as a reserve today for his team. Stepped up with just a couple of minutes to go before the race. Great job. And quite kick. You wonder if you'll have that 5-second penalty removed. I'm not sure if it was speeding in a pit lane or just a collision there, but I'm sure we'll see what happens in the stewards room. But overall, a fantastic race. You've got to say both the Ferraris, their home track, a little bit disappointing. Jennifer Lee struggled to get that car under control for most of the race there, and we saw we had the spin after the I think it was the second safety car or third restart there into turn one. Unfortunate, but they both did manage in the points. P10 for Granny Fatty and Jennifer Lee P12, so not so bad. And Sam, unfortunately, was looking good for a top 10 finish, maybe even in the top 5, but yeah, just plagued at the end with a bit of bad luck and finished P14 for Sam, and Brian Bromley P15, the last point there, as you said, Scotty. So yeah, fantastic call, mate, and really good race of you today. Hopefully we get a few boys that can jump in here and speak to the McLaren boys. We might just send them a text and let them know where we are.
Yeah, we might have to give them a couple of permissions. Hopefully we'll get the Comrocks all sorted for next week. But while you're doing that, who we thinking driver of the day? Obviously Meddy's was ultra consistent that entire race. Obviously both McLarens, Marty and eBay Boy. Daniel Starr, after his early spin, was pretty much plumb last and found himself back up into P4. He's definitely a good shout as well. And then obviously the likes of Junkyard Dog, he moved up 10 positions. Quiet Cake moved up 10 positions as well. So it's a tough one to pick driver of the day tonight, I reckon.
Look, yeah, it's splitting hairs. It really is. I'd probably be leaning towards Daniel Starr at this point from P11 up into P4. eBay Boy as well. I believe he was P5 up to P3, and that's his first podium in Tier 2. So at this point, for my driver of the day.
So who are we thinking? Sorry, Daniel Starr, did you say?
Yeah, Daniel Starr from P11 up into P4. He'd probably have my my pick at the moment.
With that spin, obviously he got unfortunately punted, but yeah, all right, we'll go.
Oh yeah, well, I'm playing. I think I've accidentally just joined it. Yeah, I do. I accidentally joined it.
So we got. Oh, we did have eBay Boy in here, so we'll try and get him back in. Obviously, he's trying to work it out. He joined it and then didn't join it, so yeah, we'll wait and see. We do have
Marty B in here.
Yeah, we're gonna have a chat to Marty B. I thought the win possibly could have been on there for you, but as I said, that's another brilliant P2 result for you. Fantastic drive today, and McLaren double podium as well.
Oh, mate, you guys can hear me, eh?
We
Can you
can.
hear me?
Yep, loud and clear.
Sweet, yeah. Oh, man, just holy crap, what a qualifying. Car had some pace, man, and it just went. It was like a rocket ship. So great to see McLaren up there, P2, P3. I think it's well deserved, to be honest. Did a fair bit of practice for this, boys. If I'm to be straight up, so I think it's all come to fruition, and great team play there with eBay Boy. Jumped in the chat there as well. Medi just a bit too quick there, sadly, and a moment, of course, for Kyo, which gave us the double podium. So now it was good. It's good to get some points for the team and good points for Marty B as well.
Yeah, no, definitely, Marty B. Congratulations on your P2, mate. And obviously finishing P2 overall in Tier 2 standings last season. That's a comfortable position for you. Look, I've got to say, marvelled at you driving all day long, just sitting behind the leaders there and just biding your time. You didn't get too aggressive there and try and fight for the lead too early, and it really came into play for you at the end there where Kyo missed his breaking point coming into the final lap, I believe it was, and you just took full advantage. Just talk us through that little sequence if you don't mind.
Oh, I mean, the safety cars, we were sweating a wee bit because we didn't box, of course, after the first safety car from the mids to the hards. We thought we'd take a gamble and run long because, of course, the strategy can also be soft to mid. So we thought, we'll give mid to soft a go. It was a bit sketchy in the first sort of first stint, I should say, after that safety car, but it worked out all right. And then, of course, with the other safety cars, the softs, they were just saving and saving and saving, man. We had fuel for days, so that was no problem. But then, of course, Kyo having that moment down into turn one, it just turned the headlights on for me. I thought, man, I've just really got to make the most of that. And eBay getting past him as well, we just stuck our heads down and we just got on with it, man. And it was just, what a brilliant team race. We was just in comms the whole time with the strategy, and of course all the boys behind. Shout out to Battlecat, shout out to all the other boys, Santa and Swissy. Just a great strategic race.
Yeah, much said. I don't think
Absolutely, Marty.
Yeah, I don't think I can add any more to that. But it was a fantastic drive from yourself and your teammate as well. So big congratulations. I think we're at Mexico next week. So obviously,
We are.
similar sort of main start finish track in terms of being a really long one. But obviously that technical second sector and obviously the stadium section in the third. How are you feeling about that next week?
I love Mexico. I love it. I can sit here and say I love it now, but it could all turn different on the day, to be honest. But no, it's a good track. It is very similar to what we've just done in a funny kind of way. But no, I love it, and I can't wait to get back out there and do the thing with the boys, and let's see where we can get in season number 6.
Yeah, 100%.
Beautiful, Marty. Well, congratulations on your podium there, mate, and look forward to seeing you next weekend. And that brings us to your teammate, eBay Boy. So, yeah, mate, got to say, worked very well with your teammate there. Both the McLarens up in the top 4, I believe, for qualifying. And, just came into to play for you both there, working well together. It looked like with about 5 or 6 laps to go, you fell out of DRS range of your teammate there. Was there any doubt that you were going to lose touch with the front runners there?
Nah, they were just too close. So I don't think there was any real chance of us losing. Like, I think at that point Kyo was ahead, and I don't know who was technically on the better tires at that point, but Medi's still in the medium, so you'd have pace in those tires. When we dropped out of it, I think like Marty might have slipped on the exit or something. Might have been the Lesmos, or that could have been early in the race. And he's like, oh, I need DRS, because Daniel Starr was right behind us and he was catching very quickly. So he was like, do I drop back to help the team, or do I try and keep going to hope that we can get a win? And in the end, the dropping back bit was the right call, and because Medi and Kyo started battling, it allowed us to just catch him in the end.
Yeah, I thought you guys actually pulled the trigger at the right time. To execute that to finish, a double podium. And just for the first safety car coming out, you blokes both stayed out in those mediums. I think you both had about 8 laps or 6 laps on those mediums, and you both decided to stay out. Was it, was that the call that you both decided to make, to stay out there? Because Scotty and I, we had a conversation about whether you would split the strategies at that point and put someone on the hard tyres to go long, but you guys both stayed out in the mediums. What was the plan there?
I don't think there was a debate at all. I think it was just like, lap 8, it was as simple as, do we pit now? Yes, no. I think Marty said that if Kyo went in, he was going to follow Kyo because they were P1, P2 at that point. And then Kyo didn't go in. And before the pit lane, I was like, look, I'm telling you now, Marty, I'm not going in general. I think it's too early for these mediums. I mean, you never really want to trust the engineer in the game, but as we're coming around that lap, the engineer suggested a 2-stop, so they hinted to me that those hards were not going to make it to the end.
Yeah, fair enough. Scotty, you want to add anything before we let eBay Boy get out of here?
No, I think, as I said, it was a magnificent drive for you. Obviously, we thought at one point there we thought it might have been you and Marty battling for that final podium position, but obviously Kai's mistake obviously allowed you both on the podium. But just having a look at the provisional standings, just for you at the moment, obviously didn't quite work out for you in Spain, missed last week, but obviously your first podium in the season. How you feeling? Obviously first with Mexico and then the rest of the season.
Well, definitely disappointed with Spain. I don't know if you remember how that race went, boys, but we had I think we had a bug on the first, and we had a lobby reset, and I forgot to put a fucking setup on. So I think I got to lap 20 and just said, oh, I can't do this anymore, because I was looking pretty fast there. And then yeah, obviously wasn't here for last week, but probably wouldn't have been much of a help at Portugal because pretty mid there. But Mexico next week, I quite like Mexico. I mean, I'm not a massive fan of the stadium section, but I like everything leading up to that, and I've raced there before, and I think I'm pretty quick. Obviously, I have to go into do a little bit of TT and some practice around that track, and see where we are for next week then.
Yeah.
Magnificent, eBay boy. Thank you so much for joining us in the comms box, and congratulations on your third place podium. Fantastic day for McLaren, and we'll see you next weekend, mate.
Yeah, cheers, boys. Have a good one.
Yeah, you too. And yeah, fantastic for the two McLaren boys. Broseph, obviously, Medi unfortunately having to run, so won't be joining us in the comms box, but obviously just a quick word on his race tonight. He was bloody fantastic.
Yeah, stand out, mate. No doubt about it. Pulled the call to pit at the right times for the right tyres. Paid off really well. He kept the pressure on Kaio at the end there and forced him into that error. And yeah, fantastic job for the Aston Martin #1 driver. And I'm sure Wayne and all the Aston boys will be very happy with his form at the moment. And can't wait to see the boys out in Tier 2 next weekend. But of course, we've got Tier 1 race tomorrow, Scotty. You will be performing for Williams, and how are you feeling about Monza, mate?
Yeah, it's a track. As I said, I'm sort of just going to hope to just have a bit of a clean one. We know how quick the Tier 1 boys are, so I've had a double scoring point. I'm still obviously massively disappointed with how Portugal went, because obviously a potential podium taken away, and then obviously Toddy as well, who I affected. It was one of the other guys affected from that, so I think we're both still really annoyed with that. So hopefully both him and myself can actually get a better result. But yeah, still annoyed about that. Obviously Portugal, one of my favourites. Monza, not so much. But as I said, we saw plenty of 3 safety cars around here, and quite a few drivers picking up damage, and then some time penalties as well. So it's always just going to be an interesting race as it is. But one final time, we'll quickly bring up the provisional race classification for you guys, and as I said, it was Medi, the car on top, from Marty Ben, eBay boy, the two McLaren guys. Alpine scoring good points in 4th and 6th. Alfa Romeo, Battle Cat up there in P7, Junkyard and Quiet Cake were your big movers. And as we said, we're not sure if Quiet Cake may be able to get that 5-second removed, which will put him up in actually P7 as well. So that'd be a great drive from his first outing in the Haas seat now as well, being full time for that team. So Sam down in P14. Brian did pick up the fastest lap. Problem is he doesn't get the point because he didn't finish inside the top 10. So that I've got to have to make mention of that. So obviously gets the honours, but not the point, unfortunately. So, and then obviously we had our 5 DNFs. Letter P out of the Ascari chicane. Unfortunately, Gob retiring as well, and then Mumba and Ego, as you said, bro. So Red Bull did not have a great Tier 3. They certainly didn't have a great Tier 2. So hopefully the Tier 1 boys can fight better. And obviously Ethimon was our other retirement. So obviously a few talking points from that. But Broseph, thank you very much for hopping in with me at the last minute, allowing Gob to drive. But I think we just watched a fantastic race.
Oh, my pleasure, mate. Thank you for hosting and streaming as usual. We do a great job here for Inters into Tier 2 every Saturday. And yeah, it was great to see Gobby out there having a bit of a fun race out there instead of commentating. And yeah, absolutely. But looking forward to tomorrow's Tier 1 race. Better luck to you tomorrow for that one. It'll be at 5 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time. So make sure you tune in, and we'll catch all you guys then. Thanks a lot.
Alright, thanks guys. Catch up.